In the heart of Virginia, in the year 1950, a boy named Claude Lafayette Dallas Jr. was born. Little did anyone know he would grow to be a figure of controversy and intrigue. This child would grow up in the verdant landscapes of Virginia, a setting as serene as could be, yet it would foster in him a nature far from peaceful. From an early age, Claude Dallas showed signs of being troubled. He lived a life that was far from ordinary, and his actions often hinted at a rebellious streak. This was most apparent when he dodged the draft during the Vietnam War. A contentious act that divided opinions, it nonetheless marked the beginning of his defiance against authority. The war was a turbulent time, and for many young men like Dallas, it was a crucible that tested and shaped their character. But for Dallas, it was a time to rebel, to evade the call of duty that many his age answered. This act of defiance was an early indication of the path he would tread, a path that would ultimately lead him to a life of crime. This early life, filled with defiance and rebellion, was just a precursor to the life of crime and controversy that awaited Claude Dallas. Fast forward to 1981, Claude Dallas's life took a dark turn when he fatally shot 2 game wardens in Idaho over allegations of poaching. This was a confrontation that would forever mark Dallas as a felon, but also stir controversy about the nature of his crime. It was a chilly day in January when Dallas found himself cornered by the wardens, Bill Pogue and Conley Elms. They had approached him over suspicions of illegal hunting, a charge that Dallas vehemently denied. The situation escalated quickly, and in a blink, Dallas had fired his weapon at the wardens, leaving them lifeless on the snow-covered ground. The case went to trial, and the courtroom was divided. On one hand, there were those who saw Dallas as a cold-blooded killer. They argued that he had murdered the wardens in cold blood, an act that deserved the harshest punishment. On the other hand, there were those who painted Dallas as a man pushed into a corner, a man who had acted in self-defense. They argued that Dallas was a victim of an overzealous law enforcement system, one that had pushed him to the brink. The verdict, when it came, was as controversial as the crime itself. Dallas was convicted, not of murder, but of voluntary manslaughter. The jury's decision sparked an uproar. Many felt that the sentence was too lenient for such a heinous act, while others believed it was justified, given the circumstances of the confrontation. Dallas was handed a 30-year sentence, marking the end of this chapter in his life. But, as we'll soon see, it was far from the end of his story. The saga of Claude Dallas would continue to unfold with twists and turns that would keep the nation on its toes. Despite his conviction and 30-year sentence, the story of Claude Dallas was far from over. In 1986, adding another dramatic chapter to his life, Claude Dallas escaped from prison. This daring breakout was as audacious as it was unexpected, leaving authorities scrambling to recapture the fugitive. For a full year, Dallas managed to evade the long arm of the law, living a life on the run. His cunning and survival skills, honed from years of living off the land, proved to be a formidable challenge for law enforcement. In 1987, his year of freedom came to an abrupt end. Dallas was recaptured, and his taste of freedom was replaced with the bitter reality of confinement once again. He was returned to prison, where he would spend the remaining years of his sentence. In his final years behind bars, Dallas no doubt reflected on his choices, the lives lost, and the path that led him there. In 2005, after serving 22 years of his sentence, Dallas walked out of prison a free man, but not without leaving behind a complicated legacy. Claude Dallas, once a fugitive and a convict, walked free in 2005, leaving behind a legacy of controversy and debate. Claude Dallas remains a divisive figure even today. Some view him as a folk hero, a symbol of living off the land and defying authority. Yet others see a man who dodged the draft, poached wildlife, and took 2 lives in cold blood. He's a character steeped in controversy, a man whose legacy is as tangled as the wild Idaho terrain he once roamed. Claude Dallas, a name that conjures images of rugged individualism for some and ruthless lawlessness for others. What are your thoughts on Claude Dallas? A criminal, a folk hero, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below.